All right, we're live. I'm trying to figure out how to get some good music for my friend Carmel here. He's not satisfied with you know, techno. Figure out how to pop. What are you doing? You listening in the background over there?
For my friend
That's
here.
you.
He's not satisfied.
Oh, that's me. Sorry, I failed you, Carmel. Trying to be professional and funny, and trying to play this podcaster thing, and I'm just surviving.
It's
But
okay. It's okay.
I'll find you some reggae. What kind of
Reggae is good. I can
reggae
go
is
with
good?
that. Yeah.
Reggae? Okay. So we gotta. I don't know. We might get clipped for playing it. Bob Marley in the background or something.
Maybe. Just don't play any Beatles.
Yeah. Stop. I've never liked the Beatles. So first and foremost,
thank you.
This is our 11th episode. How you feeling about this right now?
That's good. 11's a good number.
11 is a great number.
Yeah.
They kind of use it, in their favor, but and I say they. It's a loose term word. So the title of this, yes. Title of this show is Fitness, Food, and the Food and Drug Administration, the business of health. And I'm telling you right now, I just got off the phone with my lady, and she said these words. She said, why is it that the Food and Drug Administration are in the same administration? And her answer was because the goal is to keep people sick. Because without people sick, the power brokers, the pharmaceuticals, the hospitals, the guys making a lot of money on this kind of stuff would not be as profitable. And I think we've kind of looked at the last few years as to what extreme profits are willing to be met, meaning like what will people do to make money?
Yeah.
And so,
it's not the goal of a hospital, and you can look this up, to cure anyone.
Well, it's not the goal of a pharmaceutical. If it was, they wouldn't be in business.
Exactly. So when I hear people talk about doctors and my doctor said this, my doctor said that, and they just go along with the doctor says, I mean, I get it. If you're injured, it's one thing. If you're ill, it's different. If you're injured, yeah, you need to have your bones set or something, repaired. Cool. But if you're ill, taking a pill is not going to work. It's literally in the word itself. So I would avoid.
Did you say the word, Carmel?
The word.
The word of God?
Here we go.
Brother, no, I'm really encouraged right now, man.
I'm saying
I'm really encouraged. I just wanted to say thank you for admitting.
Admitting what?
Okay, well, that's wrong topic. Another day.
That's not. I was saying that the word ill is in the word pill.
Ooh. The word ill is in pill. Hey, dude, where do you come up with this stuff? Bro. Is that's his brain, straight brain. That's amazing. Just like right before when you said the word of God, like you just full faith.
That's my words. Those are my words,
bro. I really love that about you, Carmel. You're right there. You're edgy. You're all over the board, but you are still hardcore believer. I like that.
I never stopped believing in God.
Hey, remember I talked to you earlier today about it. I just want to say, J.P. Sears, that funny comedian, the redhead, the guy who was a staunch atheist and staunch proponent against the pandemic. Okay, just became a Christian. Just saying, you could do without whatever you want.
He's also starting to look like a lot like Carrot Top.
Oh, bro, I know. That's crazy.
Both in size and everything.
Eyelashes, big lips.
Weird muscles coming out of nowhere. The dude's definitely he's roided up.
Dude, did you see the Rogan episode with Carrot Top about why he was getting so yoked? He's all, yeah, man, I was working on Vegas Strip, and the only thing I had to do all day long was work out. That's all I did every day, all day long. And I put on 25 pounds of muscle. And I'm like, dang. J.P. Sears did the same or similar thing. Now, I don't think it's buff, but he was yoked. He was yoked.
He's Liver King light. I mean, he's looking pretty. He wasn't like that not too long ago. So I
How did he get a good-looking girlfriend, bro? He's not a pretty fellow. You know, not that I would judge that or
he's
anything.
Instagram famous, bro. When you get Instagram famous,
So what you're saying is
get that blue
that
check mark. Chicks start showing up.
so what hold on. What is a blue check mark? So I want it.
Getting verified. What do you mean?
Oh, am I verified?
No.
No.
They ain't verifying
I don't even know what verified means.
Yeah,
That says how much I'm into the social media stuff. All right, so food, fitness, and the FDA. I've long thought that is a problem, that the FDA is embedded, food and drugs are embedded in the same administration. That's a serious conflict of interest because we can be healed by food. Do you agree with that first and foremost? Do you agree with
100%,
that?
100%.
Okay. So, Carmel,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm dealing with in my own household. My own household about meat.
Yes.
You know what I'm dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
People want to fight on whether or not it's good to eat meat or not.
Yeah.
And eating vegetables. You know what? This was great. Carmela was out to lunch with my mom yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You know what she had for lunch? An In-N-Out cheeseburger.
No.
You know what, dude? She picked it up and she looked at it and she said, "This is so pretty." No, so that goes to a question, because we're going to talk about this later, and I know I'm making a lot of jokes right now, but I'm seeing that there's a big conflict of interest regarding should he be a vegetarian, should he be a meat eater. And this kind of goes with what we're talking about today, but we have been fighting on it, and then they bring up a scripture, and then I bring up about 6 pages of scripture that talks about eating meat, and then they say, well, that's not this. And so I want to get into a good dialogue about that with you at some point in the future. And
yeah,
get a really good vegan on, get a good vegetarian on, get a good what is the guy that just lives off of air alone?
Oh,
have you heard of those people?
Yes.
The oxygenarian or something.
I guess so. I think also they tap into the sun heavy too. They sit out in the sun and get lots of like energy from the sun.
Vitamin D.
Yeah.
You know they're eating worms, dude, when they're laying face down. They're so hungry.
They're
so hungry, bro. They're just snacking on bugs, ticks, fleas, anything to get protein, right?
There's no way there. I mean, look, here's my thing. And I know people who have lived the vegan lifestyle for a long time. I know people who have gotten healthier eating a vegan lifestyle. Gary Heyer, a good buddy of mine, and we can tease this show for next Saturday. He's going to be on our show here. I want him to speak about this. So Gary was a guy, went to high school with Gary back 20 years ago. And
he went to Compton. He sounds white.
Gary is as white as can be. I was born in Compton. I went to school in Downey.
Okay.
So we went to Warren High School. Some years after that, we still knew each other, connected. We played rec ball and this and that, but he got cancer, unfortunately, and he healed himself. And I'll let him share this story, but he healed himself predominantly through a vegan lifestyle.
I agree.
Yeah. So I'll let him speak on that, but you guys tune in Saturday, 4 p.m. Gary Heyer, Higher Power Wellness. He'll be on here. But to that point, and I've talked to Gary about this, and I'll say this about eating meat. I will say our country eats way too much.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem.
100%.
Our society here in America, we are obese because of our portions. The portion sizes are out of control.
So that can go all the way down to drinking milk,
Yes.
Something that's to make a calf put on weight, get big, put on fat. But I will say, as a child, I grew up on a gallon. And listen, I grew up in a vegetarian lifestyle when I was growing up with my mom. My mom was a vegetarian, and she was a vegetarian for 40 years. It wasn't until about 4 years ago her body got so weak, Carmel, that it's like, look, I've tried everything, Dr. Gundry. She's tried it all. She's paid for it all. She tried all the supplements. Carmel, she takes a pill cup like this of grade A vitamins every day. And she was getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And finally, she started incorporating some chicken and fish, little tiny ounces of it into her diet. And she said her strength started coming back. She feels a lot better, a lot more clear headed. And, I'm like, because I grew up with that, and I would get one steak a month. And back then, steaks, I don't think were full of the GMOs that we have today. GMOs, the
hormones and all that.
The hormones, yeah. And I think that if we eat meat in moderation, and it's healthy meat, it's grass-fed, tracking the line of the family, no issues, locally grown, I think you're going to be okay. The problem is right now, and what people don't know about, and I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but as of right now, and it has already been ongoing for some time, they are out in the wildlife vaccinating everything. And for me, that's a scary thing, because the implications of vaccines in our food and stuff, I just have a problem with that. I can't stand eating. And I also want to touch on eating right for your blood type, at some point when we do that other episode. But I want to stick on the business of health, because, when you see cows that are growing massive because of hormone injections, steroid injections, that's going to be a problem when it comes to you. And let me say this, Carmel, I have multiple machines at my house. You know what I do. You've been there. And I have a machine. It's about this big. You can pick it up on eBay for $50. I'll find it. The problem is they have trouble shipping it to California for whatever reason. But it's an ozone machine. And what you do is you put a piece of meat. This is disgusting. You put a piece of meat from Stater Brothers in a bucket of water, or like a bowl of water, and then you put a piece of meat from the butcher's market that's been grass fed, and it's $30 a pound. Okay. You put this thing in and you run it for 5 minutes. The thing bubbles up. What happens is all the negative particulates, the negative ions, start bubbling up and coming out of the meat. And there's this big bubble factor that's literally this tall off, and it's disgusting. But it cleans out the meat. But I still wouldn't want to eat that meat. You do the same thing in the butcher's cut from Butchery. Depending on your cut, obviously, you run that ozone machine, no bubbles. None. Every time I'm at Vaughn's, every time I'm at Stater Brothers, every time I'm at any one of these places, the Food and Drug Administration is allowing for this crap to go into our food that is making people sick. It's making men become feminine. It's taking away our testosterone. Obviously, I have not eaten that kind of meat for quite some time. It's pretty clear. But it is doing damage to us as a nation. But I can't stand eating more than one steak, every other week, maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
I've always said, and I've hadn't had a person argue this with me. I look at my teeth. I have 4 canines. So that means 1/8 of my teeth are designed to eat meat. So if 1/8 of my diet.
Okay. So you're getting on a whole nother element that's going to trip my house out. You know who my house is.
I do. And I know what some people will say, that,
Yeah.
baboons have large canines, and then baboons also at times do eat meat. Now, predominantly they eat bananas and fruit because that's what's available. But they have the ability. We have the ability to eat meat. If it was 1/8 of our diet, and then the other 7/8 were grains and fruits and vegetables, we'd be fine. The problem is it's not. And I'm not surprised that, your mom and other vegans struggle with their health. But it's weird. You're saying, oh, okay, I'm not going to eat meat, but I'm going to take 30 different pills to supplement what I would get from 6 ounces of chicken, or, a can of tuna, or whatever. How is that better? That doesn't make any sense to me. Your body's not designed to synthesize drugs and vitamins and minerals. But we can eat meat. We've been eating it for hundreds and thousands of years. And that's another thing I want to say is people come up this with, we were never designed to. Based on who? Who are you talking to? Who told you this? And it upsets me when people want to say God never designed. You can't speak for God and all the gods. You're not going to speak for Elohim, the plural
Stop.
God,
That's
the
a
plural
different
God.
episode, Carmel. That's a different
I'm just going to
episode,
say,
brother.
when people say God don't speak for all the
I'm
gods.
feeling it. They're thinking Trinity. You're thinking Zeus, Thor,
I'm not
whatever
thinking
you think.
Zeus. I'm thinking what the Bible says in terms of Elohim, which is multiple gods. No, the multiple gods aren't being spoke for by one person. I'm not going to accept that. But I will say this: my ancestors ate bison and buffalo and gave thanks and worshipped it, but also understood the symbiotic relationship between us and the animals, and us and the grains, and us and the land, and treated the land and treated the animals with respect, gave it the energy it deserved, and they did consume it and use the skin and hide for clothing, for shelter, and all that. Who's telling them to go eat a kale steak? No
Carmel,
one.
I'm having a big issue seeing you with a tomahawk and a long ponytail and riding horses and
Why would I
slaying
have
bison.
a ponytail? You talking? Those are
That's
movies.
it.
Those are movies.
I'm yeah, I'm kind of stereotyping right now, but yeah. So what do we got an issue in that the Food and Drug Administration is making sure everything that appears on the shelf is appearing with preservatives and nasty stuff. And here's the thing that people really don't know. It's like when you want to go to a store and shop, everything that's on the outside aisles is how I shop now. It's everything in the vegetarian or vegetables. It's everything in the meats. It's everything in the all the way around the outside is what I'm looking at and shopping. The dairy sections, whatever. I've since cut dairy out probably by 90%, like meaning I have 10% left. Growing up on a gallon of non-homogenized whole milk straight out of a cow every day is what I drank. Every day. But it was pure, organic, non-homogenized whole milk. And I would also eat about 6 to 7 apples, and then I would have a salad, and I would have all this stuff. And I was super in shape. Don't get me wrong, strong kid growing up. If you put a pepperoni pizza or meat lovers pizza in front of me, that thing would be down a large, and I would still have a flat stomach. My metabolism was so fast. Remember those days?
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying, it wasn't until I was 16 years old when I was able to get into cars, hang out with friends, and go to Carl's Jr. and McDonald's and test out all these crap foods that I'm like, oh my God, double Western bacon cheeseburger, my first ever real meat burger. It had the fried onion rings on it. It had the barbecue sauce on it. It had the bacon on it. But dude, I started hitting that every day. But one of the things I did notice, Carmel, is my strength started going through the roof. And that could have been a growth thing. It could have been all kinds of things. But I just, it's like I had a big salad for lunch, very minimal meat, probably 2 or 3 ounces of meat. And I'm still hungry. I had a bowl of cereal mid-afternoon, and I need to stop eating so much. I'm going to first and foremost say that to the whole crew right now. I need to stop eating so much. I got it. I want to drop 20 or 30 pounds. I got it. But we got to consider our health from a standpoint of what we're actually putting down. Like, even though it's so expensive, the question I would have for my house, the people that are, we're talking to on a daily basis, you and I, Carmel, about the whether we should be a vegetarian or whether we should be a meatitarian or a combination thereof. I would ask them, are they eating organic? I would ask them, is everything they're putting in their mouth organic? What kind of oils are they putting down? Because that's a whole nother thing, is the oils that we're intaking. And it's very important that we start getting our mind wrapped around good food and have and it's a true statement, a balanced diet.
I can't speak to that enough because I know some people are very hyped on the vegan trend. And again, I know people who've been vegan before it was cool. But now, if you look at all the stuff that is made vegan, like why are you trying so hard to replicate meat if you don't want to eat meat? Like these Beyond Burgers, Impossible Burgers, and not every company's got their version of it. They're putting a lot of stuff in there to make fake ground beef, fake shredded, chicken, all this fake meat stuff to the point where now what you're eating is actually quote unquote unhealthier than the meat you thought was unhealthy. I've always tried to shop at,
Soy.
oh yeah, I had so many arguments about soy, but do you know who invented us eating soy? Not soy itself, of course, it's nature, but you know who invented us eating soy?
It's got to be them dang Japanese sushi
No,
deliverers.
no, you'll be shocked. So not like that, not edamame, but like having soy in food was actually the father of peanut butter. So George Washington Carver was asked to come up with a way to create some sort of MRE for the army, the military, and he said you can use soy to help things keep longer and build like these meal rations that soldiers could take out in the field and they would keep for long periods of time. But he also said these are not made for normal everyday human consumption. But with our capitalistic government figuring out, oh, it worked in war, kept the food longer. What if we made all the food like this? Now, fast forward, soy's in everything. But Dr. Washington Carver said this is not what you're supposed to be doing with it. He just clearly made it for wartime. So these guys could survive out in war and have something to at least keep them, sustained. But now it's in everything. And soy has been proven to not be good on the human body over long periods of time. Now, soy sauce here and there, like edamame at the freaking sushi restaurant. Yeah, that's cool. We're not talking about that. We're talking about how much of it is in your daily diet. And in vegan food, it's all over the place. So
I really hate to say this because this is a part of what we're dealing with right now is the byproduct of soy, the byproduct of GMO, and the byproduct of corn that is not organic.
Corn.
We're watching men that have long blonde hair, yelling at people in stores for not calling them ma'am, and they sound like me, and they're absolutely upset, and they got makeup on, and they got a slight beard going because they neglected their feminine way, and we're dealing with that byproduct, and it's unfortunate because we're having a lot of different issues out there that are a direct relation to the health and intake of what's been authorized as a healthy food or a healthy intake. And I can't even begin to tell you, it's like it's really hard to look at food and find good healthy food in a supermarket. Even when you're looking at organic food, Carmel, it's like when I'm shopping, and you go and you look at cottage cheese and there's 15 things and it says organic, but there's 15 things on the cottage cheese that I don't even know what they are. And it's in there.
Yep.
And then you look at one brand of cottage cheese that says milk and 3 things, milk, salt, whatever. And I'm like, that's it. That's how you make it. Why are we adding all these things? And so even the element
I've shopped like that for a long time. Is I will look at how many ingredients are in the item. If it's 3 to 4 or 5, I'm good. You get to 15, then you're not eating what they're actually supposed to be. One telltale sign, I showed this to my mom the other day. She bought some sliced cheese out of nowhere. I think she went to make quesadillas. So she bring in these Kraft singles, and they were individually wrapped. And I said, Mom, you can't, if you're going to buy cheese, don't buy those individually wrapped ones because it's not real cheese. It's a cheese product. She said, what do you mean? I said, look right on the front of the bag or the package. It'll tell you cheese product or it'll say cheese. Sure enough, you look at the front of the package, it says cheese product, which means They put a bunch of cheesy like stuff, dairy stuff, whatever, to make a cheese product. Now you go buy the one that's not individually wrapped, and it'll say American cheese. Now, which one is more expensive? Of course, the regular cheese product. The one that's actual cheese is more expensive than the
I have a
manufactured
jurisdictional
genetic
question.
one. What's that?
I have a jurisdictional question.
You do, or you getting one?
I have one for
Let's
you.
hear it. Let's hear it.
Is American cheese the same as United States cheese?
No, because American cheese can be from Mexico.
Boom. Boom. So I'm a little sad about this because I think we're the only nation, and I've heard about this for a long time now, that other nations absolutely laugh at us for what we put up with in our food. You know, like they and I've followed and tracked because I kind of grew up with it, with a mom that loves to eat healthy. But you know, there's all kinds of studies about, and then here's one of the points: don't eat wheat, don't eat wheat, don't eat eggs, don't eat this, don't eat butter, it's bad for you. But try margarine. You know,
Right.
we've grown up with all the lies of trying to figure out what is appropriate for us to eat or not eat, Carmel. And I got to tell you, man, I'm an egg eater. I'm a butter eater. I drink very little milk, if ever. I'm trying to stay away from dairy as much as possible. I cook. The only thing I would ever cook with butter anymore is a steak. If anything, it's coconut oil. You know, I'm really trying to be conscious of what I'm putting in my body, but then you go out to dinner and everything is out the door.
Yeah.
You know, if you go and sit out at a dinner table and you get a steak, you have no idea what you're putting in your mouth.
Yeah.
And
there's a show, Down to Earth with Zac Efron. Did you ever watch that? That is a 10-part show, I think, on Netflix. You remember hearing that, or did you watch it?
you talking about with Zac Efron?
Yeah.
Dude, aside from being gay, he's a cool cat. Go ahead.
So anyway, there's an episode where he goes to Sardinia, and
Saw it.
they're eating pasta, cheese, meat, and
the
it's like
Centurions. Was it a Centurion episode?
exactly. So that's part of what
they
they call
were
the blue
doing a
zone.
study on people that lived over the age of 100 in the community, and they were eating a lot of pasta, pure wheat, and it was how the wheat was grown.
Yep. So that's and I've heard this about a lot of countries in Europe, that they eat a lot of the same things, at least by name, that we would eat here, just they're made way different. The processing is not nearly as harsh as the stuff we go through. And half the American foods we eat are on banned lists in Europe. Like they won't even allow it in their country. So it's weird when we're not even asking these questions like, wait a minute, they're not allowed to eat it, but like it's in our schools.
Well, that's why they laugh at us, is our kids are getting the worst diets possible in the cafeterias, like you just said. And you know, and for a disclaimer purpose, because I know in 5 years somebody's going to say some comment about my hatred towards gay people. For the record, I had a couple of guys in my life that were gay, that were very close friends of mine, that I loved dearly, not in that manly love, but just friendship love. And I have no problem with your lifestyle choice, other than it might be a sin. So that's it. But the bottom line is there is no hatred there whatsoever. It was a little bit of a letdown when I heard a great looking guy like Zac Efron. But you know, he's only like 5'7", Carmel. I mean,
Well, that's average in our world today. I mean, it's
no, 5'9".
oh, okay,
5'9". But we have to do an episode on that, because there's a lot of girls waiting for a 6'4" multimillionaire, perfect, handsome dude, you know, and they're never going to meet him.
But again, that's because they're busy watching Instagram and TikTok and think that's what everyone looks
and
like.
you deserve this, and you need to hold out and let that perfectly normal, good Christian man walk by you. You know, just
meanwhile, they're living the life they're living, expecting to get. Yeah, that's another topic.
Just say, come on, say they're living a life like what?
No, they're living
What
an
do you say,
Instagram.
Carmel?
They're living an Instagram, TikTok lifestyle, but want a guy who doesn't watch Instagram or TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
You want this perfect gentleman, but you're gonna act like, yeah. Anyways,
So you give her some GMO food.
So what?
You give her some GMO food.
Oh, most of these women are GMO'd. It's like, again, another topic. But anyway,
do you see how I try to incorporate the conversation?
I see.
I'm trying to bridge back into it.
Here's what's funny. You bring up the gay lifestyle, and there is a weird and interesting connection.
There is, and
I'm not anti, and I'm not accepting or tolerant of it either. I don't care what you do. I'm not going to accept it. I'm not tolerant of it, but I don't care. I'm not going to be hateful towards you. Do what you want to do. But it's interesting that we have so much of this now, gay pride and men being in touch with their feminine side and being more emotional and vulnerable, and how much of our food has been laced with atrazine. And atrazine has been shown by UC Berkeley to turn frogs, male frogs, into female frogs. Why is that in our food?
Oh, dude, you're blowing my mind. Like, what
That's
is this
a known pesticide that is sprayed on our food. So when you talk to vegans who are eating all these vegetables, show them that atrazine is one of the pesticides sprayed over all those vegetables. And if they start growing some tits, and they're not a woman.
Did you say breast, Carmel?
I said tits. I said tits. That's
big
what
fatties. Big fatties. Is that what you said?
That's what's on an animal, right? Animals don't have breasts; they have tits.
Do they?
Cows have tits.
That's a great point. Now you took it from a something that was kind of like a little risque to a word and word play, and you perfected it when you closed out on the definition aspect. That was excellent, Carmel.
That's my comedic.
You covered your tush. But I didn't, because I said big fat ones.
Well, cows have
big fat tits.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're off topic, bro.
I can say ass too if we're talking about animals, right?
Dude, it's in the Bible. Stop. You can say it all day long. Exactly. I got your back, man. It's the word of God. Jackass.
So when you show people these scientific discoveries, it still boggles my mind that they want to fight you and still say, well, we're not supposed to eat meat. What do you get this from? It's never been a thing. Or another one, and I want you to show this meme, because I think it's one I see a lot.
One quick second before, because I will.
Yeah.
But Charles is part of the household that we're dealing with on this whole vegan versus plant-based versus. Hey, Charles. He said chicken breast. LOL.
Chicken breast is after you cut it and serve it.
Chicken breast is after you cut it.
Do chickens have breasts? Or when you cut the chicken, are you serving the breast of a chicken?
Technically, no.
We call it breasts. There's no nipples on it.
Yeah, there is no nipple. It's not even a teat.
It's not a teat either.
It's not a tit or a teat or a nipple.
Right?
So then it's not even a chicken breast. Chicken chest.
A chest doesn't sound good. Give me a chest and a thigh. What?
I'd like one chicken chest and a thigh. What do you mean? A chicken chest and a thigh? What does that mean?
Well, you know why you probably can't call it a chest, because that's the rooster. Roosters have chests.
Dude, you're getting way too literal for me, bro.
Hens have breasts.
Okay, hold on. Here we go.
So let's talk about this meme, because I see this all the time, and vegans love to throw this up. It's wrong. It is completely wrong, and no one ever questions this. So
vegans love to throw this up. The biggest, the oldest, the strongest, the largest are fueled by plants,
and they're absolutely not these three things. So I'm going to go line by line and address each one.
Okay.
First, The oldest living creature is not the turtle.
Okay.
It is the Greenland shark.
Okay.
The Greenland shark is the longest living vertebrate. By far more than the turtle. It's actually supposed to live up to 500 years.
Really?
Average turtle does 100 to 200 years. You know what Greenland sharks eat? Meat.
Meat. Love it, Carmel.
Second one.
You're a research guy.
I am.
I love it.
The strongest animal, pound for pound, in the world is not the gorilla.
What?
Kelby, you're second.
Thank you.
The strongest animal, pound for pound, is the dung beetle.
The dung beetle. Oh man, you went little on him.
Do you know what dung beetles eat?
What? Meat.
No, crap. They eat feces.
Oh, but
So should we be eating feces if we want to be the strongest?
Oh, dude. Hey, wait a minute.
The largest animal.
Hold on, stop. Excellent point, Carmel.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
The last one. The largest animal in the world is not the elephant.
Okay.
It's the blue whale. It's the largest living animal ever. Largest than any animal that's ever existed.
Up to 120 feet long, Guinness Book of World Record.
They eat shrimp and krill and squid and tiny bits of fish in the ocean.
You know what?
Vegetables.
So let's make a meme and let's go pro meat.
I'm down.
But on the bottom of it, let's put some like scales and say, but there's a balance. And come watch the balance of Kelby and Carmel on Mancave Classified.
I'm with it.
Maybe we can push that meme and set some old records straight, because you know what, Carmel, I'm telling you, there's guys that are going to fight us, tell us vegan is, and I'll agree with them. There's a good life that comes out of eating vegetables, period. Fruits and vegetables. There's a great life that comes out of that. But the reality is, for all of us, is that we should be considering, for me in my house, should be considering at least a few ounces of meat a day. Now, I'm not talking 24 ounces. I'm talking some chicken, and have it be organic, grass-fed, healthy meat. Period.
It's balance, man. That's the thing that bothers me about vegans the most, is the fanaticism.
You know what's so funny? This show shifted. We started with the FDA, and we couldn't help ourselves, Carmel. We're so pissed off at what we've been going through today on the MCC group, the support group for the show, and the elements of fighting back and forth, the infighting that's happening between family, of whether or not we should be meat eaters, and the throwing out of Bible verses even in my direction that would insinuate that vegetables are the only way God would have us eat. But then, bro, I spent 2 hours online taking everybody else's research and verifying and validating the verses, and I created 5 pages of verses, as you would say, script, sure, that go along with the sentiments of eating meat. And you know what? They're fighting us on it still. They have one verse. They had one verse. One.
Which is that one verse? Which one?
I don't care.
I don't
even know. It's so tardish.
It doesn't matter. I mean, look, I can just go to where.
And it wasn't even it's one of those verses that gets flipped, twisted, contorted. It was a thought, a parable, a proverb, and then they made it law for 8 billion people.
So let's look at Jesus. Okay. Oh my God. Let's look at Jesus. He fed thousands of people.
You were flipping the table.
Yeah, it's about food.
Let's bring up alcohol then if we're going to talk Jesus and
miracles. I'm going to do it too. Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. So if Jesus was a vegan, why didn't he just use the loaf of bread?
Why exactly, and not the 5,000 fish?
Why is he bringing the fish out? When Jesus went out
I agree.
with his buddies, he went fishing.
I
If he was
agree.
a vegan, he should have rebuked him.
Exactly. Carmel, you're speaking my language.
Lastly, if Jesus was a vegan, he wouldn't be telling them to eat me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's telling them. He says, "This is my flesh."
And we all know he had plenty of meat. We've all seen the pictures of the Last Supper.
Plenty of meat.
Plenty of meat. Plenty of meat.
Peter was told to get up and eat meat.
Isn't Plenty of Fish an app?
It is for Christian singles.
I didn't mean to make that correlation with Jesus and an app called Plenty of Fish. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm saying he is the age of Pisces.
Wow, I wouldn't go there, bro. I wouldn't go there, but okay. So where are we at, my man?
I think the FDA and a lot of the agendas we're seeing about.
Wait. You didn't talk alcohol and Jesus.
Oh, well, you know that's his first miracle. Yeah.
Do you know I had an entire group of people on Facebook fighting me on whether or not it was a sin, and they were coming up with this thing that is nowhere anywhere in the Bible that it was juice. It was grape juice. And I said, oh, so Jesus performed a miracle of turning water into wine, and all the heathens there said, this is the best wine that we've ever had. Why did you bring this out second instead of first? Because that's what they would do. They bring out their best wine. People get drunk. Then they bring out their cheap crap. Instead, they save the best wine for last. So are you trying to insinuate that the heathens drank the wine and said, this is grape juice, bro. Thank you. No, it was wine. It was fermented. It had alcohol in it, and it had a good chunk of alcohol in it.
What's funny about this is why do you have to make it something that's not? Like, why do you need to make it juice?
Oh, bro. When I first became a Christian, I'd have friends come over that were believers, and they'd go in my fridge without permission, go like this. And I'm like, and you know these guys.
I do.
You do. You know these guys. And I'd be like, what are you doing? I'm just seeing if you have any alcohol in here. I'm like, why do you want to drink? You know, and it's like there was this horrific guilt for years and years and years and years. So we got to do a show on that.
Oh yeah, I'm down.
We're gonna do a show on that.
I'm down.
So
I'm down. So yeah, so
back to business.
The FDA, I definitely food and drug. Notice there's no herb. It's food and drug. Why is it not food, herb, and drug?
They don't make any money on herbs.
Exactly.
That's a sad thing. That's a sad thing because
they don't make money on health. So if you're healthy, you're not making money off me. If I'm healthy and well, you're not making money off me.
So you know my friend in the movie acting business.
Mm-hmm.
He's a major director, major actor. Not one of the top 10 or anything by any means, but everybody knows him.
Yeah.
He came hard against me as a friend, calling me a conspiracy theorist on J&J. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, now his friends keep dying. And this is a sad thing because I just saw John Wick 4. Hey, don't judge me, everybody. All right.
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was the best movie in the series.
Really?
Bro, I'd go see it with you in a heartbeat. It was absolutely the best movie in the series. First one was great. Second one was great fighting. This one, storyline, scenes. There was a couple unbelievable things. Like he had to get to, and I'm not going to ruin it all, but he had to get to a certain spot on time by 6:30 a.m. to have a duo. And if he didn't get there, everything would be lost and he wouldn't get his freedom. I'm like, bro, why didn't you just parachute in at 6 a.m.? Why did you have to go to the...
I saw it, and I agree. There was that scene was like, but it's a movie, and I'm like, okay, we got to create some tension, some drama.
So you just held out that you saw it until right now.
Well, you were going off already. I couldn't.
No, Carmel, you could have easily have I thought I was helping you understand something, bro. That's what friends need to do. Open up more. And you're not sharing.
No,
You know?
I'm actually letting you share. That's what friends do. They let you share and
Bro, you
speak.
just changed my whole feeling. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It made me feel better. So in that scene, it became unbelievable for me because I was sitting there going, "Are you serious? Are you serious?" Like, he could have just parachuted in. He could have, instead he had to go into. Can you imagine the film? Hold on a second. Just think about this for a second. I really thought they had. I don't know what that area is called. The big circle where everybody drives around. And can you imagine shutting that down to film that scene? How incredibly awesome that must have felt like to. Remember when he was doing donuts with that PK? Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, another great scene.
And
yeah.
Oh, dude, that whole movie was a great movie. Is that the way you felt?
It was good. I don't know if it was my favorite of the four, but I think it was really good. I enjoyed it. The storyline was probably better than three of them. There's a couple that were just like, we're just going to shoot the whole show. I'm like, okay, it's like,
and the third one with Hallie, she did better in the fight scenes than he did. Meaning,
yeah,
she was better choreographed, better on point. It was almost like he wasn't on point.
Yeah,
but
Keanu's an interesting actor. He's an interesting actor.
He's gay too.
You keep going there, bro. You keep.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Well, what party is he a part of?
What?
What party is he a part of? Is he Republican? Is he Democrat?
I have no clue.
Well, see, you can't just mention he's gay and not mention his political affiliation.
But he's probably the nicest guy in Hollywood.
I've heard that.
I've heard that from a lot of people.
Is he vegan or not vegan?
Don't go there.
That's what the whole show's about.
The question is, does he eat GMO?
Oh, I 100% no. There's no way. There's no way. A guy with that kind of money, he's not. He might have a farm. He's the kind of guy I think would definitely have a farm.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a neat guy. He produced a good show or produced a good movie.
How did you get on John Wick?
I don't know. Probably the same way you got on something. These shows, they transition so quickly. I mean, we were talking about FDA and then we ripped into the vegetarian lifestyle. That was my fault, I think. And tried to sneak it back to the FDA and talk about the lies and deceptions there that are against the American people. I know people, and here's the thing that sucks.
I remember you mentioned your director Hollywood buddy friend.
Why
you were going somewhere? You were going somewhere about.
That's right, because his friend Lance, the black guy that died in John Wick 4 by getting shot in the chest right next to the hotel owner, was a good friend of T's, and he died at 61, and the internet says of natural causes. So I'm getting kind of upset at the ideologies that we can't live past 61 according to the internet, and we should be in fear of dying of natural causes, because the number one cause of death, as everybody knows now, is unknown.
Right.
We got to be careful what we're saying right now, but
but it goes to the point of the agenda to keep people unhealthy. I'm gonna speak on something tangentially, and I'm gonna say it quickly. I don't want our show to go in this direction.
Tangentially. Give me a second, Carmel. I gotta look at tangentially. Give me a sec. Hold on. I'll be right back. Unless you want to tell me about it, so I don't have to do all this.
Yeah, tangentially. I mean, just it's connected, but not necessarily the exact thing we're talking about. So it's tangential to what we're saying. I mean,
I still want to see if it's in a legal dictionary.
Oh, in a legal dictionary, it's going to be an interesting phrase in there. I wonder what
tangible. Nope. Okay, we're moving on. So, do you have it in your Webster's there?
Yeah. tangentially. A straight line that touches the outside of a curve, diverge suddenly from a line of thought from the matter at hand. So yeah, I'm gonna go. So basically, what I'm saying is this thing is tangential. It's like it's gonna be connected, but I'm gonna shoot off real quick.
I know what you're doing before these shows. You're
What am I
like this.
doing?
You're like this. You're like, okay, word for the show. Word for the show. Plead. Okay,
you know how I am with my words. So I'm gonna diverge. I'm gonna diverge real quick, and I'm gonna come right back. But I want to spend time on this conversation because it's a hotbed, but it's about guns. Okay, so we've had a recent gun issue which we should discuss at some point, but not now.
Are you talking about the shooter that had the Puma shoes on going in? And
no, don't do that. Don't do that. Just talking about the guns itself.
Gotcha. Okay.
People want to take away guns.
Don't disclose to people that it could have been a false flag.
We already know that. We already know. I'm actually, yeah, we're gonna talk about this.
People don't know that,
but we'll talk about it. Not today. So people want to take away guns from people, but they don't want to take away forks from people.
Dude, don't use mine. That was mine.
Who do you know was yours?
Fork violence. That's Kelby.
Fork violence?
I created that term and terminology.
Fork violence? I've never heard that before.
Exactly. Okay, so you were about to go there.
I wasn't going to say fork violence. That's you should come up with that.
Fork violence.
Because people are eating themselves to death.
Stop fork violence. Exactly.
Right? But we think guns is the problem. It's not the guns. It's not the cigarettes. It's not the alcohol. It's not the food. It's the people. It's conditioning.
100%.
So we're teaching people that it's okay to eat GMO products, to eat vegan food, to eat Beyond Beef patties, to eat Beyond Beef tacos, which is freaking crazy. We even all this, and then people are like, "This is healthy. This is healthy." And then what's happened to them? The same thing happened 2 years ago. You need to do this if you want to survive, and those people aren't surviving. How is this any different? When are people going to get that the FDA, the NIH, all these government entities, their goal is not your health. It's not keeping you healthy. It's keeping you sick just long enough to profit off of you. Because if you didn't have to show up at the hospital, if you didn't have to use your insurance, if you didn't have to get your teeth taken out or whatever, you never showed up to those things, how would they make money? They have to keep you a little bit sick and a little bit healthy. How many people are like that? I'm okay, but I got these things. Like what?
4 billion prescriptions a year in the United States. 4 billion. That's a fact. By the way, shout out to Matthew Matias. He's like a son to me.
Hey, I know Matthew Matias.
Yeah, you know him. I haven't seen that guy in so long. He fell off the face of the earth. He's getting bald. He's become a man. I don't even think he has a kid yet. I don't even know if he can have a kid. I never got a call. I mean, what's up? That's part of being a man, bro. You get married, you gotta have kids, and you gotta transfer the hair from the back to the front. You know, you gotta do all kinds of stuff. You gotta stay straight with this manhood, bro.
So you gotta prove it works, bro.
Matthew, get your crap together, man. Miss you, bro.
What's up?
Yeah, we'll hook up soon, brother. So you know, I'm excited because we're doing stuff that'll. And we're bringing humor to it. I just think we're funny together because you draw the best out of me, and you know you kind of are a comic. I know you try.
I used to do it a little bit. You know, I used to dabble.
Do it a lot, but you know we started having conversations, getting back together as friends, and we started going, dude, this is good dialogue. This is stuff people want to talk about, and. Yeah. You know, we've had to take about 10 episodes to get into our groove to kind of feel comfortable and tight, and you know, but this is the stuff that people need to know. This is the stuff that is the truth, and we're not making this stuff up. Our country is sick. Our country is sick, and this is an issue. You know, we don't have a healthy country anymore. We have the fattest people. Just look right here. On the face of the earth, and I eat healthy. I just eat too much, and I don't work out enough, and I got all kinds of excuses why I can't get out and work out. But I stopped working out after 20 years of working out straight. During the pandemic, I let that be my excuse, and whatever. And now my body is saying, I do a curl or I do a sit up, and the next thing you know, I'm gonna throw my back out. And I'm like, dude, am I that old? Are you serious? So I'm taking a different approach. I'm gonna lighten it up. I'm gonna incorporate Charles. Charles, listen, Mr. Williams, I swear to you, I will incorporate more vegetables in my diet, and I will
And you
make
should. You should. I want to
and
make this point. You
but
have to.
you
Nor
have to.
do I.
But
You
I
have
want to throw this out to people to consider. When you buy organic, it doesn't matter. You can take that organic and you can put it under a microscope, and the stuff that is on your food is gross. You have to take your food and at the minimum wash it thoroughly and do what I do, put it into an ozone machine and run the ozone generator on vegetables for 10 minutes. And that cleans your vegetables of any negative particulates, anything that's not supposed to go into your body. That's what those things do. And it brings your food back to life. Critical.
Yeah.
Eating the right types of food. And here's the thing, Carmel. And so when we start hearing about a great reset, a new world order, and we start hearing about all these scary things, and we're going to run out of food, you know what it's causing us to do? Because for every, like in the pandemic, and it was shut down and there was all this negativity, you know what was really cool? Driving on a freeway at 110 miles an hour, by the way. I saw some guy. It wasn't me.
Right.
And but that was cool. And there were some good things. Just like what's going to happen in this nation is they're going to force us to grow our own food. And we're going to have to do it in probably secrecy, because they're going to try to pass some stupid laws that are going to pertain to our ability to grow our own food or not, which is, we got to deal with this. We got to talk about this.
That's really crazy that's a thing. That I might be scared to grow my own food.
Bro, no, or you know what? It's funny. Or be scared to have a gun, or be scared to have a bat, or be scared to defend yourself if you get a door knock and they want to pound down your door.
Or be afraid to go out at a certain time of day, like when I have curfew. Like what?
Exactly. Yeah. And that was a big thing, and that was a truthful thing. I was an essential worker with a broker's license, and I was able to be out at any time I wanted to be out. And that's a joke. And Costco was able to be open while my friends' stores were able to be shut down. And I don't get that.
No.
I will tell anybody this is we're at HISadvocates, we're prepared for the next shutdown for businesses. If you want to be able to stay open, you need to do what we're going to tell you to do. Because there is going to be another shutdown. There is no doubt about it. And the people that have cojones and want to stand up and stay open and stay alive and have cash flow or digital flow, it's critical that you go private in your business and in your person. That way there's no jurisdiction. But so Carmel, the thing for me about the FDA in the seat of control is I have friends that were selling non-homogenized milk, and they were arrested selling milk on their own property, non-homogenized. And I'm thinking to myself, how can they arrest somebody for selling milk to a friend or a family member or down the street or another farm? How is that possible? And you know what, Carmel, $2 million bail. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating.
We're selling healthy milk.
Healthy, pure milk. Yeah. Wow. And bro, this is 10, 12 years ago. So the abuse that these organizations are placing upon the American people as if they have created a proper form of milk and God didn't do it right. Let's make it lighter. Let's make it homogenized. Let's strip everything good in it. Let's clean out the milk. Let's just make it white water.
Yeah.
And
what's hard to find now is whole milk. Have you noticed that? And I'm saying whole milk.
I don't really drink it anymore.
Well, I don't.
But I do have enough property to get a cow. And I'm going to get a cow. I'm going to get some horses because you're not allowed to.
Well,
I still want to be able to ride around.
Are you going to get a bull? Or are you going to do it yourself?
Dude, come on, bro. That's so nasty.
You need to have a bull if
nasty.
you got a cow, bro. I mean,
You're nasty, bro. I can hire people that are neighbors with bulls, bro. That's just straight up nasty. Oh my gosh.
you just said a cow. I'm like, what?
I know.
Can I
I'm
get a
not.
chicken with no rooster?
I'm not thinking about get another calf. I'm just
I'm-
thinking about a cow.
Well, what you gonna do with the cow?
Let him graze. Let him clip my stuff down, and
You're not gonna try
I have a food source right there.
You want milk?
Emergency. I know what he's eating. I know where. You know what I'm saying?
So it's just a pet. It's just a pet. It's a cow pet.
I know it's a pet until I need him.
And what you gonna do? You're gonna chop it up?
Need her. Why not?
Okay, I'm just saying you got to get another cow then.
I would probably get a bull and have calves.
There you go. That's all.
But no, in all seriousness, I'm going to put another house on the property.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put an ADU, a JADU, and that's terms for an attached secondary house and terms for unattached house. Broker lingo. But I'm also
unit.
Check it out though. I also have my RV. I have an RV and a trailer. So I'm going to take the trailer, and because both of those are on four wheels, that has nothing to do with JADU. So all I need to do is bring power, water, and all that stuff to those units, and I can have people stay and support my little farm lifestyle here in Orange County. So I'm going to have rabbits. I'm going to have chickens. I'm going to have horses. I'm going to rent the stalls out initially, and then eventually get my own horses. But the stalls in my area rent for like $600 to $800 a month, and then whoever I have there is going to live in that trailer. Is going to take care of it all and make sure the horses are fed, the chickens are fed, and free grazing. The only problem we have is coyotes, and you got to keep your eyes out for that stuff. But we planted 35 plus fruit trees. We have the garden beds ready. We're going to start planting in the next month, anytime, and we should have already planted. But where I put these beds, unfortunately, and you know what I built out over them, so it's kind of hard to get sun to them. So I got to look at things that can survive with only 5-6 hours of sun a day max. Then I got to put a few other bed areas in place. But I'm going to get goats, and I'm going to have a little farm. And I think it's important that we start thinking like this. But this is what everybody's freaking out about, what like all these organizations are doing, and they're actually turning us back to where we should be.
The problem is, most people don't have the space for a farm. And when they think about stuff like that, it's a bit overwhelming. So I think like one thing I've said to certain people is definitely get away from the big box stores if you're gonna like bulk up on food. When the first shutdown went, I know a lot of people who are like freaking out. And I went to a store I've always gone to, and when it comes to talking about meat, this place has by far some of the best meat, and it's an Arabic store called, I think it's Harvest Fresh now. Used to be called Fresh Harvest Fresh, something like that in Orange County. All their meat's halal, so they actually prepare it like it's religiously. It's the most freshest, well prepared meat you'll ever see. But I went there during the pandemic, no problem. Plenty of food, anything you can think of, no one acting crazy, and I'm like, what's going? But now you go to Walmart, you go to Rouse, wherever else, and the lines are crazy, stuff's just flying off the shelves. I'm like, why are these people acting normal? Because they're not caught up in that mess. Partly because they're not watching TV. That's another thing. People watching TV or sitting on Instagram, they're getting so wrapped up in this stuff. The toilet paper shortage was purely because of media. People weren't crapping more. What do we need more?
I might have been. I don't know.
You have a stockpile of toilet paper already, though, so that's not. You're off.
Dude, don't out me.
You just said don't out you. You just basically described your whole layout of your house, almost where you live too.
By the way, it only takes a 1/4 acre to feed 4 people year round. 1/4 acre. Really good food, and there's books and design plans. It's kind of difficult if you're in cold areas, obviously. You would have to make sure it's all lighted in-house, different things like that. But
so 1/4 acre is 43,000 square feet, right?
So you're talking about 12.
About 12.
10 to 11, 12,000. And that includes with a house on it, and you can not be without. I think that's the future, man. I'm looking at I'm looking at a well. I'm looking at we got a guy listening to us right now, William Wood. What's up, brother? You know, he got me to buy a one of those freeze dry machines where you take food, you freeze dry it, and then you wrap it. You do a plastic Mylar wrap. I have that sitting in my garage. I guarantee that's going to go up in value. But you know, you can start taking the food that you think is going to spoil. You cook the crap out of it. You don't let food spoil. You take it, you cook the crap out of it. Meaning you make it. I don't want to say it that way.
You literally cook the
And get rid of that. And then you put it in this machine and it freeze dries it, and you put it in a Mylar bag. You're good for 25 years, and that's an important thing that we start thinking about.
I wonder how many vegans.
That's the only reason why I got it.
I wonder how many vegans are going to stay vegan when all this stuff shuts down again. Because when
bro, they're going to be eating each other. Bro, vegans are going to be snacking. They're going to be looking at their friend's arms, their wife's arm. They're going to be like,
if there's some beef jerky laying around,
baby, can you cook that? Can you cook? What are you talking about, honey? What is that piece of meat right now? Can you cook that for me? I'm telling you, vegans are going to be the first to turn on each other when they can't grow something fast.
Or they might be the first ones to die off. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not going to fight them on it. You know, if that's how you want to live, that's how you want to live.
No, I don't mind. I grew up a vegetarian with one steak a month. I grew up that way, and I'm not knocking the life. The life back then for me, I had a lot of strength as a kid, but I went from my freshman. This is not a joke. My freshman year, I was 5'3". My senior year, I was 6'3". I literally was in the most severe leg pains from growing, 6 inches a year for 2 years. And I got to 6'2", 6'3" my senior year. Now I'm 6'4". But my senior year, I was $160 to $175 in weight. And then after I got out of high school, obviously, I added another 100 pounds. People want to tell me that my ideal weight is 195 pounds. I'm like, dude, I'd be a twig. I'd be a tiny, skinny little twig, and that's not what my goal is. I don't want to be, so small. But at this point, Carmel, I'm kind of agreeing. Don't laugh at me, and I'm gonna speak some truth for a minute.
I'm gonna laugh, but go ahead and speak it.
You probably will, but bro, I had to go buy this the stuff you not bubble wrap, but like a pallet of bricks, this stuff you wrap up the bricks. Yeah. So I went and bought it at Home Depot and brought it to the house, and I had to, this is all I did. I stacked bricks with one hand here and putting them back on like this. Then I wrapped around, walking around, holding it low, holding my body weight up. That's all I was doing, was bending down, crotching my knees, walking around this pallet to wrap this 25, 30 times so that we can stack. And bro, I was so winded. I feel weak. Not from a standpoint of my actual physical strength, because I'll be strong for about a minute. But the second, dude, I need to have lungs, bro, that's where I'm feeling weak. It's like I got to get my lungs back together, and I got a full gym. I got whatever membership. I got a bike. I got no excuses. No excuses.
Then what's the reason? You got no excuses.
I do work a lot.
Okay.
I do work a lot.
But you got to be on your game first. It starts with you. If you can't build yourself up, and you're building this empire, what's going to happen? You're not going to be around to take care of it.
Yeah,
it starts with you.
Yeah, well, I'll just be winded.
You'll get someone to do it for you. You're doing it.
No, you know what? I'm going to get in shape, bro. I was in really good shape before the pandemic, and I was 30 pounds less. But I think the differences of the working out that I did before and the working out that I want to do now is a lot more bodily functional movements that incorporate up, down, stretching every single day, pounding through the worked out muscle with, rollers and balls, and making sure I'm stretching and getting that push through. Because if you don't, like your glutes, my glutes were so locked up from riding my bikes as an adult. My back pain was so severe that I had no idea. All you had to do, I thought the back pain up here at the base of your back was simply associated to right there. It's not. It's associated to your glutes. And so I had this one lady hit my back with, and this is a show we should do, is on back pain, because I can resolve a lot of people's issues with back pain and just talking about it for people, because I've since solved it. But somebody put elbows into my glutes and put them in the sides, and it was the most excruciating pain I've ever felt those first 2 or 3 sessions. And it was a process of getting those glutes worked through and then incorporating that into a workout. And so you keep working out, keep pushing it through and building your muscle, but not letting them get so tight that they're pulling out your back and causing severe pain. But nevertheless, brother,
that's another fitness fad we can talk about. Is everyone's deadlifting. Every freaking gym I go to, 20, 30, 40 people, all they're doing is deadlifting, because that's the hot thing on Instagram and TikTok. And these people are going to end up with some stupid back injuries 20, 30 years from now, because they think, because it's cool. You can just lift, a bunch of weight and drop the freaking, bar. And, oh, look what I did. And you're not in shape just because you can deadlift 2, 3 plates. But women are doing it, guys are doing it. And I'm like, your body has a lot of other functional muscles that need to be in shape other than just your lower back and glutes. Because what's going to happen is if your hip's not working right, your quads are not firing right, something else is going to fall apart. But again, people follow trends, they follow fads, and they just jump on it. I wouldn't doubt if, I'm not going to say chiropractors. I like chiropractors. Someone's got an agenda out there for people to jack up their backs, because everyone's out there deadlifting their backs off.
Yeah. What do you want to do tonight? You want to hang out at the Speakeasy and smoke a cigar?
I'm down.
All right. Maybe do a short little clip there and
sure
get our first action video.
Yeah, we definitely should do that. We definitely
We got to get those guys in on it, man. Those guys are fun.
Yeah, and I think it'll make for a good some good content. Definitely, let's go smoke a cigar after we talk about health for an hour and a half.
Yeah. You know what, Charles?
It's balance. It's balance.
I think we need to have a cigar together. Let me know, Charles, if you want to have a cigar together.
We'll get they're vegan, right?
They are vegan. They're tobacco.
Exactly.
And don't even inhale. Don't even inhale.
Yeah. Unless we get like raw dip tobacco, that'd be different.
Yeah. And it's you're sitting in a quaint little place having great conversation, good dialogue with friends. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, come through, Charles.
Well, he's in Tulsa.
Oh, never mind.
A little bit far. Listen, Carmel, it's always a delight to hang out and talk with you. Saturday, I may want to guest, man. Our first guest. I may want to record that one. I'm not sure if I have a dinner engagement on Saturday night with the family, but I don't think I have to record it. I think if we get done by 5, I'm good. But let's get this guest going, because this is a guest that cured himself of cancer with a vegetarian diet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's right up Charles's alley and Tracy's alley.
But they better watch next Saturday, because again, I'm telling you, Gary's got an amazing story. His business, Higher Power Wellness, is thriving, and I'm really excited because of what he's done. I want people to hear it, because I'm not about I hate vegans and all that and the lifestyle, but it's the way you come about it, it's the way you approach it, and it's the way you present it to people. And Gary does an amazing job of that.
That's awesome. So for the record, if you guys want to get notifications to the show and the show times and just get a reminder, just text Mancave to 855-452-0499. But be reminded, all you have to do is download to your phone the HISadvocates app. And when we go live, you can watch it right on your phone, whether it's an iPhone or Android, and you can see us there. Or if you're on TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Android TV, and Apple TV. Look for the His Advocates Network. We're live. But that's it, man. Carmel,
Yes,
it's
sir.
always a blessing, my brother, to have you around.
Likewise.
I loved the fact that you said Word of God. That was just very meaningful.
Good. I'm glad you appreciate it.
Very meaningful. So after this health thing, what do you want to attack? The fork violence?
Sure. Well, or we can talk about the false flag that just happened, because it'll be a good downtime to go back and look at it. I got some very poignant points to make about it.
That's interesting. All right, brother. Have a good one. I'll see you Saturday at 4 p.m.
All right, y'all. Be good.
Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for watching Mancave Classified. It's a new show, 11th episode. We're working hard to keep a real conversation with laughs. God bless, man.